Hello, beautiful people, Illini fans, Illini Nation. Thanks for joining. We are back. Basketball season is officially here. We've been talking basketball for a couple of weeks, especially after the exhibition win 2 weeks ago over Kansas, but it counts now. These go in the record books, these stats go into stat sheets, and Illini start the season with an 80-52 victory over Eastern Illinois. I'm Craig, that's Logan. We are No One Asked Us weekly podcast, and we do some post-game shows, not all, but some post-game shows for Illinois basketball. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on our social medias. They are in front of you. If you're watching YouTube, they are in the description. If you listen to this after the fact, thank you for tuning in. If you're on the YouTube, like and subscribe. Down below, like and subscribe. We're going to do as many of these post games as we can. So like and subscribe so you don't miss any of them for the upcoming season. Like I said, Illinois wins 80-52. Slow start. slow start for Illinois. I already saw some people hitting the panic button or questioning if it's time to hit the panic button. But Illinois goes on to win and nearly cover the spread. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm Craig. That's Logan. How you doing, Logan? What did you think?
Just happy to be here. Yeah, I mean that was an ugly first 15 minutes or so, and I mean the game itself wasn't exactly pretty.
Yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things where I mean I know we kind of did the same thing last year, but it's hard to believe this is the same team that beat Kansas
I thought
in
the
an
same
exhibition
thing.
game a week ago.
Yeah, I thought the
Like
same
in the
thing.
same building. Like and then they come out today and it's just so sloppy and sluggish and couldn't hit a jump shot to save their lives. I mean, basketball, sports in general, they're just funny things sometimes. So like that's just sometimes how these things work. But it's just so strange that that was the same team like that played in those two games a week apart. And I mean, as you said, yeah, they still won by nearly 30 points. So like I'm not complaining, but it's just kind of crazy that this is how the season actually started. But yeah, it was a slow, sloppy, sluggish start. Which I mean, I wasn't pressing the panic button, but I was like, okay, well, this isn't the way I wanted to start this day. But here we are. They got the big win. All is well. 1-0 on the road to an undefeated season.
Okay. Running through the stats, Illinois led in scoring. Surprise, surprise, by Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. 18 points from the freshman guard, Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. 18 points, 7 of 10 shooting. He did hit 2 threes. He also had 3 rebounds and 3 assists in 20 minutes. So a great debut by Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. Terrence Shannon had 16 points. He was 5 of 10 from the field, 3 threes for him, 5 rebounds. No one else in double figures. You had Luke Goody with 9, Dane Danger with 8. Amani Hansberry had 7, and then a couple guys with 6. Marcus Damask and Ty Rogers with 6. Rebounding, no one in double digits. Hansberry had 8. He played 14 minutes. He had 7 points and 8 rebounds. It's a great effort by him. Dane had 8 points, 6 rebounds. Luke Goody, 9 points, 6 rebounds. And that's about it for the rebounds. And only 15 assists as a team, no one with more than 3. 3-point shooting was terrible to start. I believe they started the game 1 of 12, maybe 1 of 11.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Ended with 10 of 32, so 31%, which isn't great. I think that's actually lower than they shot last year as a team. But they did finally start making some. I think they for over a stretch they went 7 for 10 at one point. I think. Let's see, how did Hamlin do? Our boy Jermaine Hamlin, former Illini, played today for Eastern. 4 points and 5 rebounds, 4 fouls as well. So not a great day for him. But early on, he was dominating Coleman Hawkins. He was having his way with Coleman Hawkins, and Coleman had no clue what to do. Speaking of Coleman, we'll go over his stats right here. Where's he at? I can't even find him. He had
1 point.
1 point, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He only took 2 shots, and one of them was the first shot of the game. He took it. He jacked up a 3. He only played 14 minutes tonight. So we'll talk about that for here in a little bit. Team stats, where are we at? Illinois shot 50% from the field. They out-rebounded Eastern 50-40. 47 bench points, a lot of those coming from Hansberry and Gibbs-Lawhorn, and 36 points in the paint, which Illinois was struggling with early, but they did find their stride and scored 36 points in the paint. All right. Our key 3, what do you think is number 1? I think I have 3, but I don't know what number 1 is. Let's just go with what we just talked about. Coleman Hawkins on the back of the milk carton. What the heck, dude?
Yeah, it was a weird night.
Weird
night for Coleman. Yeah, weird night for Coleman. I don't know. The way this game started, just kind of something just felt off at the beginning of this game, and I don't really know what was going on, but it just never. Coleman just never really seemed like he was there. I don't know. It was such a bizarre game for him. It was such a bizarre game in general.
It was you're right. It was a very weird start.
This was a 30-point win, but like it didn't really feel like that. You had your coming out performance for Gibbs-Lawhorn. Terrence Shannon gave you double figures. Like that's great for them. But the rest of the team, honestly, it just felt like it was just a bizarre game. And Coleman was the biggest question mark here. I don't know what that performance was. I don't know what was going on with Coleman. I just hope we could just, chalk that one up as a weird game to start the season. But he defensively was not good. Offensively was non-existent. I don't know. I can't really put a pulse on what was going on here. I admittedly had the sound off because I just didn't want to listen to it. So I don't know. It was just a strange game, but Coleman in particular, not exactly sure what was going on there, but I'm not concerned. I'm not worried about it. I mean, this is the first of many games, and it's one of those things where different guys are going to step up at different times and help you get through games. And today was Gibbs-Lawhorn. I that's just how this is going to work. And you don't need everybody to be putting up, 15 points per game in a game against Eastern Illinois. But you need to figure out what was going on with Coleman Hawkins, because that was slightly concerning, that performance.
Kane in the chat again is writing exactly what I was thinking. This is it's not an exhibition game, but this is an exhibition game more so than any other game this season. It felt like an exhibition game watching it. Illinois played like it was an exhibition game, and it was an exhibition game type opponent, except the stats count. So yeah, Kane hit the nail on the head right here. It was total. And I almost said that in our intro. I was like, I'm not going to overreact to anything, because this felt like an exhibition game, and this was almost an exhibition game. So yeah, good point there by Kane.
That's why I said it's just so strange that this is the same team. Like this, It just feels like this game should have taken place before the Kansas game. Yeah. But it's just so backwards. Everything about this is backwards. But Coleman. I think Coleman's the biggest question mark of the whole thing. I mean, my second key would it'd be Gibbs-Lawhorn. I mean,
I was gonna say freshman.
The freshman in general, that's good. Yeah, Hansberry had a good night too. Nico got some good minutes. Yeah, I mean, and Dre was great. I mean, he really was the spark at one point, because this team was struggling to come up with any sort of offense, and he single-handedly put a drive together. I don't know what the tally on that was, but they were down, I think, like 5 or 6, and then by the next time out, they were up 2 or 3 points. So nice little run that he kind of sparked there coming into the game, hitting a 3, had a nice drive to the hoop. He had a nice showing, which I wasn't sure after the exhibition game what sort of role he would have. It's one of those you just don't know. These things are not going to be super consistent to start the season, but the freshman didn't see a lot of minutes in that game. And here you get obviously a far lesser opponent. You go from team 1 of 360 whatever to team 360 whatever. So I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, it was nice to see that performance from him, especially. But yeah, Amani Hansberry, 7 points, 8 rebounds, as you mentioned. Nico had a couple points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Who else is a freshman? That's it, right? Just those three.
Just those three.
The walk-on guys, but yeah, it was a nice showing for the freshmen for sure.
Yeah, Illinois was down 19-15, and DGL hit a layup with 8:06 left, and then I'm assuming it went to the TV timeout, maybe, I don't know. But he hit a layup to cut it to a 2-point game, another layup. They count them as layups. I don't know if they're layups or like short jumpers. I don't remember, to tie it, and then he had the fast break dunk to give Illinois the 21-19 lead, and then they never looked back. I don't think they gave up the lead the rest of the game. So right around the 8-minute mark of the first half is when it really flipped for him. Yeah, again, very exhibition style feel. I feel like we touched on this last week with Dane. Some dudes just feast on the mid majors, like the lower competition. So we'll see here in 8 days when Marquette comes to town and Tyler Kolek's on the other side of the court against you, what these freshmen do. But it was a great debut for Gibbs-Lawhorn. I know I retweeted the boardroom from Illini board, their tweet that is Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn what we thought Sky Clark was, or something like that. This was the best guard performance we've seen by a freshman in a while. I know Jaden Epps had a couple good ones last year, but this was very, very impressive by Gibbs-Lawhorn and Hansberry. I know, again, can't take too much stock in it because Eastern doesn't have a lot of push presence, but only 14 minutes to go 7 and 8. I think that's going to be what we see from him a lot. Maybe not 7 points, but if he plays 12 to 15 minutes, he's going to grab 5 to 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
He's energy on the boards. And I liked what I saw from Nico Moretti. He played 12 minutes. Yeah, he played 12 minutes. He had 3 assists, had 3 rebounds and 2 points, free throws. I liked what I saw when he had the ball in his hands. I think he knows how to get the ball to the people who are open. He made some impressive drives and dishes out to the threes early that weren't made because that's when Illinois was struggling. But I liked what I saw from Moretti. My third point, Keith, of our key three, and I don't know if this is where you would go. I need to listen to Brad's post game because I'm sure he's going to address it. Where was Sincere Harris?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
he was on the bench.
You tweeted something early about him just not play, but he just didn't play the whole game. So clearly something's up there.
He's either hurt, like a minor injury, or he requested to redshirt. Like maybe he saw he didn't. Maybe he saw or they told him that he wasn't going to get minutes, and he's like, okay, I want a redshirt then to maintain the year. I have no clue. I'm sure if anyone in the chat is listening to Brad or has any clue what is being said, I'm very curious. I'm leaning more towards hurt because I can't imagine a 30-point game since you're not seeing the floor. So I'm leaning towards him being maybe a minor injury. But the Big Ten did make the rule that was announced today before the games that there are injury availability reports in the Big Ten now, just like football. A couple hours before the game, you have to report who's going to be available or who's questionable game time decision. And he was not on the report. Everybody was reported as available. So unless he picked something up in pregame, it was not a pre-existing injury. So yeah.
I didn't. Well, okay, 2 things. I did not jump to the redshirt conclusion, but that's an interesting theory. And I didn't think about the injury report thing. I did see those come out, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together to think about that. So I don't know. I mean, obviously nobody knows.
No one knows. Yeah.
I mean, Brad, I assume will address something in the post-game comments.
Our buddy Michael said he's not on the radio yet, but Dion said he's going to ask.
I have to assume something is up there. What it is, I don't know. I mean, the redshirt thought is is a thing. I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, there's a lot of guards on this team, and he's probably right. Um, there's probably going to be some struggle for minutes, but I don't know. We'll just have to see what the what Brad says about that situation. So yeah, it was interesting to see when he didn't play at the beginning, but then when he didn't play the entire game, that was a little different. So yeah, that's obviously something to keep an eye on. He's a guy that I would really like to have this season, but I get it if that's his thought. I don't necessarily know how that improves next year, unless people will leave. That's the world we live in. He may leave, but I don't know that the guard situation necessarily improves.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, when obviously I knew he wasn't going to start. I knew he wasn't going to be like a top 7 or 8 guy. But when I saw Moretti come in before him, that's when I was like, okay, something's up. Because obviously Ty Rodgers is the starting point guard per se. And I thought, there's a good chance that Gibbs-Lawhorn would be the second string ahead of Sincere and jump him into the depth chart. But Moretti really, when he came in before Sincere, really piqued my interest. And I'll say here what I tweeted. I don't know where his minutes would come from. I mean, I would assume they would have been Moretti's, but like you said, he's a guy that can be valuable to this team.
Yeah.
And I've had some people tell me, you can't just throw someone out there that has no offensive game. But in certain situations, that's what you need. If say next Tuesday, Tyler Kolek's just getting whatever he wants, throw Sincere on him for 5 minutes and just say, hey, you've got 5 fouls to work with here. Do your thing, bro. And see if he can rattle Kolek's cage a little bit, So we'll see what happens. But I think that was probably not my biggest takeaway, but I'm very interested to see what comes out of this post-game presser and what we see the next couple games, because I thought Sincere would be a guy that would get a couple minutes at least, and he got none.
Yeah, so. No, the fact that he didn't play at all doesn't mean that's not a matter of playing time. That's something else. That's either injury or
right. That's what I was gonna say. If
he's
Brad
in the doghouse or
that, I didn't think of that.
Or
could have been a suspension.
I mean, he could have violated some sort of team rule, and Brad said, "You're not going to play today."
Yep.
I mean, we don't know, and hopefully he addresses that. So
that could very well be true. We just spent 5-10 minutes talking about Sincere not playing, and it could simply be he tweaked something or he's had a game suspension, and that conversation just goes out the window. But
so we do this. We speculate.
You were typing something under other notes. What were you?
I was typing Sincere.
No, Sincere. Okay. All right. We are live. A couple people have jumped in the chat here, so we'll check it real quick. Jay Hawkins did not help his future draft stock. Only one game. Yet that line. Hawkins has always been a puzzling player, to say the least. Yeah, he's hit or miss. He can definitely be hit or miss, and tonight was a complete miss on his part. He looked overmatched against Jermaine Hamlin, which is not a good sign.
I wouldn't put too much stock into his draft stock for one game against Eastern. But yeah, no, he didn't look good. I don't know what was going on there, but again, I've been saying for a while, and what we've talked about is that you need a couple guys to step up in these non-conference games, and they didn't need him tonight, so it's fine. I wouldn't be too concerned about Coleman, but I get it. He is a puzzling player. He will have these days where he will disappear, and today was certainly one of them. And then against Marquette, he'll probably drop a triple-double. I mean, that's just the type of player that he is.
Yeah, so. Plays the competition a little bit.
Yep.
Arlen in here. Thanks for joining, Arlen. Dre to the starting lineup eventually. Maybe. I think I kind of like the starting lineup right now with Ty, Damask, Guerrier, Shannon, and Hawkins. If anything, I would throw Luke Goody in there over Guerrier, maybe. But I don't think it changes, at least for a while. I know Dre played really well tonight, but he is a true freshman. And I think Brad wants to start the game with some experience and some guys that he knows can play well. So
Yeah,
I
and
would say it's way too early for this talk.
yeah, no, he's gonna give Ty a leash with the point guard situation. I mean, he's gonna let him figure it out for a while. So I don't see Dre or anybody else really stepping in there and changing things up right now. We'll see as we get closer to conference season if things aren't going well or something happens. You never know if Dre continues to put up 18-point games on a consistent basis. Maybe, but you also just got that off the bench, so I don't know that you necessarily need to be. There it is, Craig.
Sometimes I know what I'm talking about.
There it is. Apparently, according to Michael, Brad just said in the post game that Sincere Harris is in fact redshirting. I'm looking for other validation on that. Not that I don't believe you, Michael. I'm sure you're right because you're listening to it live, but I'm still waiting to see somebody else tweet that out or anything. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, like, I get it. I mean, he's a great player to have in those situations, but for him personally, like, that's probably not the best situation for him. So, point you, Craig. Well done. Wants to get more weight and strength.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, no,
it makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense.
I know when he did his whole, wasn't there like a little thing with him in the offseason? Like he tweeted, "I'm 100% coming back," and then he deleted it. Did he ever enter the portal?
I don't know if he. I don't remember.
But all offseason, everyone, I think everyone was like, "We need him. We need him. We need him to come back. We need him to come back." And then as the offseason played out, we were kind of like, maybe there's not a spot for him. I love the dude. I love the way he plays. He's just a little offensively challenged. So it might not be the worst idea for him to sit this year out and just work on his game. So there's that. Some breaking news here on the No One Asked Us post-game show. I have to sneeze. Take it away.
Bless you. Yeah, it's starting to come out on Twitter too. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and you called it, so good for you.
I can't remember if I put it in the group chat or not.
I didn't even really think about it. So, good for you. Good for you.
Before the game ended, I put it out there. So, there it is.
Okay.
Who's your everyday guy?
Let me look at the numbers. Who do I want to go with today? I'm not going to go with the obvious. I mean, I'll go with Amani Hansberry. I'll go with his 7 and 8 performance in 14 minutes. As you talked about a couple times, it's a nice start. That's a nice showing for your freshman, for your rookie season. Obviously, we could go with the 18-point rookie, but I kind of like what Amani did, what he showed. Hit a 3, did everything right that he needed to do in the amount of time he was on the floor. So I'd like to see more of that. He's going to be in a playing time situation too, behind Coleman and Dane and Guerrier and probably Goody in the post. I mean, there's going to be guys in front of him, but it was a nice showing for Amani. I'll go with him. I'll give him some love. I'll let you take an easier choice.
Yeah, the easier choice. I mean, Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn flipped the game. Completely flipped the game when he came in. He did what Sincere Harris did a lot last year, but he provided some offense. Sincere did his on the defensive end, and Dre came in and was an offensive spark plug. Man, he's athletic too. That dunk
Yeah,
was
he is.
impressive, and there were some rebounds that his head was nearly hitting the rim, I feel like. So I'm excited to see him the rest of the year, and I think he was probably the difference maker for the Illini tonight. Okay, anything else in the chat? We've got a couple people in here. If you got any questions, hit us up. Adam is asking about the Louisville game. I don't know if he's talking about the one I went to last week or the one tonight, because I could. We'll talk about the Louisville game later. We'll continue with the Illini for now, but I was watching Louisville at the same time. I was watching SIU on my computer, Illinois on the TV, Louisville on my iPad. Christy has a picture of me like shaking her head because she hates me when I do that. But
Sounds
I was
familiar.
watching all three. Similar happenings in South Bend in that household.
Sounds very familiar. Have her send me that pic.
I don't know if she ever got it. I don't know if she ever took it because I saw her taking it. I was like, stop.
Tell her to send it to me.
The good and the bad. What was the good tonight, Logan?
They overcame the early woes, which were a little alarming. But whatever sort of funk they were in to start this game, and Kane made the comment. I think it was Kane. Somebody made the comment in the chat, and we already touched on it, but it felt like more like the exhibition game, and it's they just came out flat. Like it's hard to get yourself pumped up for this kind of game compared to like the Kansas game.
Yep.
And so the way they started this game was, I wouldn't call it, it's not alarming, but it was certainly concerning because I've seen many many top 25 caliber programs that fall in these type of games to start the season, and I was kind of concerned for the first 10 minutes or so that was going to happen tonight, and it did not. So I would just say the good was the fact that they overcame that and ended up, making this a 30-point ball game. I think that to me was the best part about it overall, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot of research into this or like thinking about this, but I would agree. I don't think there's much else good because the shooting wasn't good. The free throw shooting wasn't good. The rebounding wasn't good. There wasn't a whole lot of good. So I'm just going to piggyback off of what you said that, for them to be down by 9 halfway through the first half. And what was it at half?
It was like 10 or 12, I think, at halftime, something
12
like
at
that.
half. So to go on, I think I actually wrote it down, to go on a 24-6 run to end the half, that's a good sign. And for it to be sparked by a freshman is really something to look forward to.
Yeah.
What about the – go ahead.
I was going to say, and Michael's right, too, in the comment, the ball movement. I mean, that's something I think we're going to talk about that a lot this year. In lieu of the point guard play, I think we're going to be talking about the ball movement a lot. And we did see that once things got clicking. Granted, not all the threes were going down, but this team, we've seen that now in 2 games, the Kansas game and this game. This team moves the ball really well amongst themselves, which is not something we really saw last year. So that's kind of nice to see. So I agree with what Michael said too. That was probably the best or the better. Some of the good stuff. The bad was the abysmal start to the game. The one that they overcame. I mean, I think that's you can't have the good without the bad in this situation. But I mean, again, they overcame it pretty quickly. They got it all together. The shooting wasn't great. That's going to be a thing all season long. You're going to have games where they seem like they shoot lights out, other games where they struggle to hit 35%. Granted, they played a not so good opponent, so it didn't matter tonight. They did get going a little bit. But this team does have shooters. But sometimes they're not clicking. But yeah, the bad start and the poor shooting performance. Free throws weren't good either. I mean, that's
where I was going to go. I know a lot of the focus is on the 3-point shooting or anything, but free throws tonight, 12 of 23. Terrence Shannon was 3 of 8. He's like the best free throw shooter on the team, and he was 3 of 8 tonight. That's where I was going to go with the bad. And I think Michael put it in the chat. Coach Underwood, coach was really pissed about the offensive rebounds. Eastern grabbed 14 offensive rebounds, and they're not a big team per se, so they should not be doing that against Illinois. And that's what led to the slow start. Was they were getting some second chance opportunities, and no one was boxing out. So yeah, those two, free throw shooting and some bad effort on the rebounding was my bad. Check the chat one more time. I don't see a lot else in here. Michael's keeping us updated on coach. Happy with the bench. We'll talk about Oakland here. I guess right now we can talk about Oakland now. Coach said Oakland will launch threes big time. Yeah, I was looking at. I noticed that they were playing Ohio State tonight. Ohio State did win. They did beat Oakland 79-73. So it was close. So Friday is not any cakewalk. And they shot 35 threes. They were 14 of 35. They have a player on their team. I saw Rob Doster tweeted this. Jack Golke, Gohlke. He's a senior. He was 6 of 18 from the field tonight. He scored 18 points. He was 6 of 18 from the field. He was also 6 of 18 from 3. Every single one of his shots was from behind the arc. So that's what we've got to look forward to on Friday night.
How do you defend that?
Run him off the line. Run him off the line. They had a guy, he went 6 for 18. Another guy went 4 for 7. But it was really that one dude just chucking. He took half of their threes. I'm going to look him up. What's his first name? I have a picture in my head of what he looks like.
Jack Golke?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if it's pretty much. Pretty much. He's like a Jimmer Fredette, or who was the guy from Wofford a couple years ago? He was a baller.
I don't remember.
Fletcher McGee.
Oh yeah.
Fletcher McGee. He was a baller at Wofford. But yeah, I mean, he's your typical white dude stand in a corner and just chuck. 6 of 18 from 3. He's living the dream, man. So yeah, Oakland, they put up a fight with Ohio State. And Ohio State's not bad. Let's see what the KenPom numbers say. Ohio State's 46 in KenPom. Oakland's 243. So Oakland's not great. KenPom projects them to go 12-17 this year. So but it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be easy.
Nothing's ever easy.
Are you expecting more like tonight, or do you think they get their shit together and play better?
Well, I mean, they got it together eventually. It just took 10 minutes. I mean, I think they'll be a little more ready. For whatever the reason, they just did not come out ready today. Yeah. I guess, again, that has something to do with it's Eastern Illinois and it's not Kansas. So maybe that's all it was. Maybe they snapped it together, figure it out, because you got one more game like this before Marquette comes to town. And that is certainly not going to be easy.
A week from tomorrow, I believe.
Correct.
A week from tomorrow is Marquette at home. I'm trying to look up the schedule, and internet's being slow. Okay, anything else in the chat? Imagine if Coleman shot 18 threes in the game. Oh my gosh, this fan base would rip their freaking hair out if Coleman Hawkins took 18 threes. Oh, that's funny. I'm trying to look up the schedule. Why can't I find it?
What do you want to know?
Is it another BTN Plus game Friday?
Yes.
It is.
We have 2 more of those. This Friday and next Friday.
Oh, okay.
Or BTN Plus.
Okay. So 7 o'clock Central.
Valpo.
8 o'clock for myself and my co-host here on the East Coast, although neither of us are on the East Coast, against Oakland. Back to, I don't know if Adam's still in here, to Louisville. I do want to talk about this for a little bit. I know this is an Illinois podcast.
Go ahead.
I don't know if he was talking about last week or tonight, but last week I did go to the Louisville exhibition game, and they lost to Division II Kentucky Wesleyan by like 3 or something like that. Tonight, they were down to UMBC by like 6 or 7 late in the second half. They come back. Sky Clark ties it with a dunk. I don't even know. He played decent, nothing groundbreaking. But I don't think I can describe it. So if you're listening and you want to see some of the best, most chaotic basketball, watch the last 30 seconds to a minute of the Louisville UMBC game tonight. If you have ESPN Plus, you can go watch the replay. Just fast forward. You don't need to watch any of the first 39 minutes. Just go watch the last 30 seconds. It was absolute pandemonium and might be the most bizarre game-winning shot you will ever see. Louisville had the ball like it was tie game. Louisville had the ball. 20 seconds left. I think UMBC tied the game with like 20 seconds left. They drove the length of the court, took a contested layup with like 14 seconds, missed it. UMBC got the rebound, and the Louisville guy just reached around the UMBC guy and took the ball away. Clear foul. And then he just threw it up in the air trying to get a foul. And a dude came and tomahawk alley-ooped it right down the lane. Dunked it with like 8 seconds left. It's wild. And then on the other end, UMBC gets the ball. The dude catches the ball on the baseline, both feet out of bounds. Don't call him out of bounds, and they call a foul on Sky Clark. So down 2 with 2 free throws. He missed the second free throw, so it ended up not mattering, and Louisville won the game. But I'm telling you, if you want to go watch some comedic basketball, watch the last 30 seconds of Louisville tonight. It was, I don't know what other word to describe it other than comedic, because that's about what it was. Okay.
I hope I can find it on Twitter.
I will say, Louisville, for as bad as they were last year, they look much better this year. I think they're going to win a couple more than 4 games. Will they win 15 to 20? No, but they could get close to double digits. They got a couple players. They just don't play any defense. So
they got Sky.
They do have Sky. Sky's the limit. I don't know how he did. Okay, he probably scored like 12 tonight. He had 27 in the exhibition. He looked pretty good in the exhibition, but they lost. But he doesn't care if they lost as long as he gets his. So, Michael did bring up something good. Got BTN Plus to watch women's games. Women's team tips off tomorrow. I don't know who they're playing, but I know they play tomorrow. Ranked number 23. Shauna Green, looks like another great team. Hopefully another tournament appearance. So, if you do keep that Big Ten Plus, BTN Plus subscription, check out the women's team because I'm sure they'll be fun to watch as well. Arlen, I don't think you have Arlen back in here as long as Sky doesn't become the next Pods.
Those are 2 very different situations.
Very different situations. I don't see that coming.
I mean, even if it did, like, I don't know.
You're talking about situations at Illinois, is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like they're just very different. They're just not the same thing.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get the concern. I get that everybody's all up in arms about the whole Pods thing.
Well, the one you might have to be concerned about, according to the secret scrimmage, is Jaden Epps, who dropped 48 in the secret scrimmage.
Well, this is true.
Okay. Do you have anything else tonight, or
no?
Looking forward to Friday?
But 2 things.
Okay.
One, I got to get myself conditioned a little better because it's not even 11 o'clock and I'm freaking tired.
Time change.
So time change really screwed me up.
Yeah.
Second thing, when we will have made it, when we hear our voice in an Illinois basketball hype video.
We have to be more positive.
That's true.
We're going to have to be more positive. We want to do that.
I was just listening. I was watching that before the game, and I thought, one day going to
I
be
did
my
have
voice.
I watched it today on my lunch break, maybe. I don't know. I was in the car when it came on, and I don't know who's all in it, but I had the thought, I wonder if we can get the sleepers guys on here because they are very polarizing with the Illinois fan base.
Oh, I know. I'm sure
I
we
wonder
could.
if they would come on here and chat with us, see
sure
what their
they would.
relationship's like. So
That'd be fun. No, that was Jeremy was in it. I think Kevin
Fanta.
Sweeney on Titus's show.
I don't know his voice. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure because I'm pretty sure Titus. You could hear Titus laugh in it too.
Okay.
Because Kevin Sweeney was on Titus's show after the exhibition game. Fanta was in it.
Yep.
I
heard Fanta.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we can get Greg and Carter on here. We could probably make it happen.
We'll see. We'll see what happens the rest of the year if they have any
great
what's the word? Controversial Illini takes. I think they like Illinois. The fans just don't like them for some reason.
This goes back to my theory, man. The Illinois basketball, specifically fan base, is just
psychotic.
Is psychotic.
Yeah.
Titus made a comment in his season preview mailbag about the fan bases that he hates the most is Arkansas and Illinois. And it's not that he hates Illinois fans. He just basically you're just ridiculous.
Who is this?
Mark Titus.
Okay, yeah.
The Illinois fans were just crazy. This is a crazy fan base, and they love their Illini basketball. So
yeah. Did the thought ever cross your mind tonight? Maybe we won't be doing a podcast because Illinois is going to lose. Did it ever get to that point?
I don't know if it got to that point, but I was definitely a little concerned in the first 8 or so minutes of this game. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Well, this may not go like I had hoped, but we're here.
We're good.
28-point win.
It's all good. And we talked for 45 minutes. It's late at night. Let's head to bed. That's all I got. Unless
Can I go to sleep now?
You can go to sleep. I'll take care of the rest.
What do we have to do?
Just upload it to Spotify and Apple.
Audio.
Okay, that's it. Illinois wins 80-52, 1-0 on the year, obviously. Friday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, another BTN Plus stream. I did find out tonight that BTN Plus limits to 3 IP addresses on one account. I didn't find that out. One of my buddies found that out because they had one they were all going to share. And it says, we kindly recommend or limit only 3 IP addresses per account.
How many are on yours?
I think just 2. I think. Okay. Mine worked the whole time, so I didn't get kicked off.
I did not get kicked off either.
So Friday night, another stream, and then we only got one more, and it's next Friday, and then we're on TV the rest of the season.
No, there's several peacocks.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about the new partnership. Last BTN Plus stream. Okay, let's get out of here. Illinois wins 80-52. We will see you Friday night. Maybe. We haven't talked about it. I'll be here Friday. We'll see.
Yeah, probably.